I haven't recorded in a while, but that doesn't mean I haven't been playing. I've been focusing on round 2 of this daily tournament that I've been playing, not doing well. I've only won one game, and for those that play daily, you have to really play a very precise game. Today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to play an unrated game against a friend of mine that just started playing chess, and hopefully it will be instructional for him and hopefully instructional for others as well. All right, let's get it going. Okay, we're going to do a 15-10. I'm going to cut out all the long pauses, but it's going to be unrated, and I'm going to play the black because I played white last time. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm just going to play standard stuff because I want to play more likely what he'll be facing at the lower levels. So probably just the, two knights is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything like Caro or French, anything that I would normally play. Okay, so he's doing the Ponziani. Nice. Although it's called the McLeod when you don't have the knight out. Okay, well, let's just bring in a knight. Hit this. So how does he protect this? He'd have to only push one. Not normally the move order for Ponziani, but I've never really actually played the McLeod attack, so not sure. Okay, typically you never want to push the F pawn. This is bad. It opens up this diagonal for my queen, which can be pretty costly. I mean, I could almost right away snag this pawn. In fact, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to snag this pawn. If he takes back, I give a check, and I win that pawn back. But because he has to block here. But more importantly, I win the rook in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and play this move. It is a sacrifice, but we talked about playing an odds game as well, because obviously there's a rather large rating gap. But in some ways, I think the odds game is maybe less instructional because of the fact that you don't actually face the normal openings that you would see. I think when we set it up, it was going to remove a pawn, a rook, and a knight in that scenario. But I think it's more instructional to play just normal chess. Although odds games probably could be pretty fun. I've never actually tried it, so. And so yeah, this is a fork. King has to move. Or block with a piece. In either case, I win the rook, no matter what happens, so. But this is why pushing this F pawn is usually a mistake. You don't really want to expose this diagonal for that check. I think it's best to block. Yeah, I say block with the queen and try and protect this bishop, but likely I'll attack this. Maybe I'll just focus on developing. I mean, we've won a rook, so at this point, just bring out the rest of the pieces. See if we can cause more threats. Even though I was trying to play more of a traditional, like lower level opening with just the mirroring the king's pawn opening, I think this low level trap is something you might encounter even at low levels. My experience when I was at low level, the players at that range would usually have one or two opening traps up their sleeve and leverage those in various scenarios. So I'm not saying it's really common, but especially this one where you sack the knight early, it's probably not something you're going to see at lower levels. But I wouldn't be surprised, though. I know that you know, the Scholar's Mate and all those various opening traps are popular at the lower elo range. Okay. So yeah, let's not overthink things. Let's just continue. I'm going to bring the bishop here. I mean, I guess I just could take this free pawn. There's no harm in it. I might as well. Of course, the knight guards this one, so. But I don't think I want my queen stuck in the corner, so eventually I'm going to have to free it up anyway. But yeah, I want to get this bishop out. Maybe point at that square on this diagonal. Then castle, get the other knight out. Okay. So this doesn't threaten anything, which is fine. So I'm just going to continue my plan. He can push this. It does fork these two, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I can just take with the pawn and move back if I need to. So, and now I'm just going to castle, get my king out of the center. I can think about pushing, now that I'm castled, I can think about pushing my f-pawn. Just forms a pawn chain, but gets this bishop out of my way as well. Okay. So queen's pointing down this diagonal, but obviously I'm still parked here, so not a big deal. I can give a check right away with my queen. He'll have to move over. Can't take this bishop, it is guarded. I don't see a really clear follow-up yet, so I'm just going to continue to develop my pieces instead. I'm going to get this bishop out here. Okay. He wants to castle, but I think now's the time where I am going to give this check because I want to prevent him from castling. I want to keep him stuck in the center. It's usually a good rule of thumb is to keep when you're trying to attack the king, if you can keep him in the center of the board, it's usually a good thing. I'm going to bring this bishop next and pin this knight because this king has to move here. So he moves, and I'm going to go here next. Just noticing the bishop doesn't have a lot of squares to go except for this one here. So this diagonal is pretty much fully guarded. So if I push here, he has to go to kind of an awkward square. So I think that's what I'll do next. No, let's focus on development. Let's not be greedy. Let's just get this bishop out. Pin this knight. Prevent him from... He was already kind of being limited by this pawn, so I'm not too worried about him, but keeping him there is better. Of course, if this knight moves, this would be dropped. It's the only defender currently, so he probably doesn't want to move this knight either. Now that the knight is pinned, I could also take this pawn, because this is no longer guarded. Pinned pieces don't protect, so. And we are up in material too, so I could even trade pieces, but there's no reason to give up this bishop currently. If he tries to run as king, that would be a costly mistake, because this would be checkmate. So. Okay. Moves that knight. Forks my queen and my bishop. I'm not worried about trading the bishop. That's fine. now it does protect this pawn that's no longer free. But that knight, this is a drawback mistake because that knight was the only guarder of this bishop. So this comes with check. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the bishop. King has to move here. And then I can take this knight with check as well. I'm not interested in getting my queen stuck in the corner here. I also could, once he moves here, I could take the rook, but I'd rather have this knight with check. So, and I believe, let's see here, do we have a checkmate? That might lead to a checkmate because he goes here. That's his only move. Give a check, he can block with his queen. And then that's just mate. I think that's going to lead to checkmate. So let's calculate. Check. Only move is to block. And then that's mate. Yes. And this is an example of, even though he had that fork, the forcing moves are the ones that end up deciding the game. So, but thank you to him for the game. I'm going to go ahead and use the game review on this one so that he has it as well. But let's see how that played out. 73. So I still, even though the rating gap is pretty big, I still had a number of misses, number of mistakes. I'm certainly not an expert. You guys that have been watching my videos know that. So typical opening, and yeah, the computer doesn't like that move for obvious reasons. Although this was a miss, it was better just to not sacrifice the knight, but because he could have avoided that by just pushing the king. So this is, like I said, a known opening trap where you check and you take the pawn and then you get the rook in the corner. All this was fine. Apparently that was a mess. It did want me to. Oh, that's just checkmate. Okay, so this is a fail on my part. So I literally just missed mate and won. See, that's how it goes. Even with the rating gap, I miss some obvious things. Do find it later. Yes, and then this, of course, drops the bishop. That was the only defender. And then it's forced mate from here. So, all right, that'll do it. Thanks for watching.